Welcome to Real Judaism with Rabbi Klapper. Unfiltered wisdom for Jewish life.
Shlemus halev hu shetiyah avodah lefonav yisbarach b'toyer hakavana dahainu letachlis avodah so bilvad v'lo l'shum peniah acheret. When we talk about shlemus halev, which is the next on the list of the things that it says Hashem wants from us, la'avodas Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha, we should serve Hashem with all our heart and all our soul. That means we should have a full heart. Our entire heart should be to serve Hashem with the purest kavanah, to serve Hashem for the sake of serving Hashem. There's a tefillah that many people say every morning. It's a short 2-3 line tefillah from the shlah that the person, it's kedai to say it, that you say in the morning before you start learning, Hareini roitzul moed, I want to learn kedei shavo lidei maise, so that my learning should come to lamaise, that I live my learning, that I say halacha lamaise my learning. Lidei midos yisharos, that my learning should fix my midos. Lidei limud haTorah, and I'm doing it also because the Torah needs to be learned. So those are the three reasons it's brought. Those are the three reasons. That's what it means learning Torah lishma. So know how to keep halacha, to straighten out our midos, and just for the sake of Torah learning for the sake of learning Torah. So shlemus halev, what's called shlemus halev. Shlemus halev means I want to serve Hashem lishma. I want to serve Hashem lishma. Now somebody asked me one time, we're going to see later on in the next parak, we're going to see that the purpose of life, which is the next parak, what's the purpose of life? So he starts off in the beginning of there that Hashem created the world, created man to give man pleasure. So if that's the reason why Hashem created the world, so then maybe my kavanah should be that I want to have pleasure. This way, I'm doing exactly what Hashem wants. Hashem wants to give me pleasure, so I want to do what Hashem wants, which is to give me pleasure. So that I'm doing everything to give me pleasure. Why isn't that lishma? So I asked one of my rabbim, Rabbi Fox, this question many, many years ago. Rabbi Yamin Fox. He lives here in the neighborhood, not so far, Nachal Micha. A very big onov. He's a very special person. Very, very, very big Talmid Chacham, big masmid. So I asked him this question many, many years ago. And he said, Eina chanami. If a person really had the pure kavanah that I want to have pleasure because Hashem wants to give me pleasure, that's my kavanah. Not that I really want it for myself, but I want it because Hashem wants me to have it. If you really have a kavanah like that in the economy, that's l'shem shamayim. The problem is that nobody can really say that. Nobody can say that. Because it's much easier and really much more realistic to say, I want pleasure because I want pleasure. Right? If a person was mamish l'shem shamayim and I only want what Hashem wants, then the pleasure that I'm feeling is really only because Hashem wants me to have pleasure. Can a person honestly say that? You have to be on a tremendously high level to say such a thing. You know, on Shabbos, you're supposed to eat on Shabbos. You're supposed to eat. In Sefer Shabbos Malchus, Rav Pinkus writes about the greatness of Shabbos and how all of everything, all Shefa, Ruchnius, and Gashmius, everything comes from Shabbos. Shabbos is the Makor HaBracha. I think we say in the Chadoidi. So if it's the highest, it's the most spiritual day of the year. It's more Kodesh than Yom Kippur. Michal Shabbos is Skila. Michal Yom Kippur is Kores. You don't get Chiyav Misa Bezdin for being Michal Yom Kippur. What? Also, right? The more Aliyahs on Shabbos is on Yom Tov or on Yom Kippur. Shabbos the highest day. So if we're like Malachim on Yom Kippur, because it's such a holy day, shouldn't we be like Malachim on Shabbos? Why do we eat so much on Shabbos? Why do we eat and eat and eat and eat and eat? Right? It's not good enough to just have chulent at Shabbos lunch. You have to have chulent at the Kiddush before that, and you have to have chulent on Friday night. And of course, what's a Kiddush without herring? And you have to go from Shalom Zacher to Shalom Zacher to Shalom Zacher. There's a lot of gashmias on Shabbos. What shot? What shot? Why, if it's such a holy day, why are we doing so much gashmi, so much me, so much einig? So we don't understand the complete depth of this idea. But Shabbos is so high that everything gets filled up with Kedusha. And it's Hashem's day. And Hashem says, at my party, I want you to eat. So you don't have a choice. You have to eat. You have to have a good time. The oineg of eating on Shabbos is part of celebrating that Shabbos is so holy. So even a person who is noyeg, precious, and he's very careful with what he eats, whatever, during the course of the week, not because he's on a diet, but because he doesn't want to be too much involved in Olam Hazeh. On Shabbos is not supposed to be like that. On Shabbos, a person is supposed to enjoy. Hashem wants you to enjoy. That's me'ein olam haba, like we say in the Zemer on Friday night. The eating on Shabbos is like me'ein olam haba. That gashmias on Shabbos is not mazik you. Of course, unless a person is mamish doing something that shows he has no kesher to Shabbos whatsoever, which unfortunately there are people like that. But the gashmias itself is not mazik on Shabbos. So that physicality that happens on Shabbos is also purely for Hashem. When it comes to shlemus halev, when it comes to doing something purely for Hashem, Hashem wants more than anything else is he wants our heart. Maybe on Shabbos you could say he wants more than just our heart. He wants our goof also. That's also the idea on Purim as well. That a person goes ad lo yoda on Purim, that he's so drunk that he doesn't have anything else. So that also could be from the same idea that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to serve him with your goof, not just with your heart. But the Pashup Pshat, shlemus halev, is that everything that a person does, all of his motivations in life come from his heart. What do I really want in life? What do I really want to do? And all my actions follow after that. They all follow after what I really want to do in my life. So Hashem says, put your heart on me. That everything that you want should be for me. That's what it means, shlemus halev. And then all the maisim that we do after that will all be for Hashem. It's a very high level. It's very high level to say, for somebody to say, everything that I do is only for Hashem. We have madregas, obviously. A person needs to work on himself. I remember my Rebbe told us one time that he was at a Shabbos Suda with a lot of other people. I don't know exactly what it was. Maybe he was at a convention or something like that. And he put his fork into his food, and right before he put it in his mouth, he said, L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh. And as he was putting it into his mouth, the guy next to him gave him an elbow. Gave him an elbow in the stomach, said, L'kavod your boich. Yeah? L'kavod your stomach. Meaning, come on, get real. We know exactly the reason why we're eating. The food is delicious. Come on. L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh. Seriously? This is what the person sitting next to him said. So my Rebbe said back to him, you should know, maybe you're right. But if I say it again and again and again, it's going to seep in. And then eventually one day I'll get to really be l'kavod Shabbos Kodesh. I'm eating because this is Hashem's day. And I'm enjoying it in the Chanami, but I'm doing it for Hashem. Right, they say about a certain kohen in the Beis Hamikdash. I forgot where this was in the Gemara. I forgot right now where it is. That there was a certain kohen in the Beis Hamikdash who was very, very makpid. That when he was there in the Beis Hamikdash, there would be no noiser. There would be no leftover meat. Noiser means that the meat was left over too long and it has to be burnt. You can't do anything. You can't eat it anymore. So a person shouldn't leave over any noiser. But sometimes it was too difficult. There was a lot of meat going on in the Beis Hamikdash, and there were only so many kohanim. How are they going to be able to eat all that meat? So there was a certain kohen, a big kohen, and he was super makpid that there should be no noiser left. So you can look at this guy. This guy is just a fresser. That's all he does. He just eats and eats and eats. But the Gemara says this about him, that he was a big tzaddik, that he cared so much that there shouldn't be any noiser. There shouldn't be any of this kadosh meat left over that's going to end up having to be burnt. Every time you eat, that they eat from this meat, there's an elevation to the person and an elevation to the one who brought the korban. So you might say, well, the kohanim, Come on, they're just interested in eating meat. That's all they are. They're interested in eating meat. That's not the way to look at a kohen. The kohen is doing it l'shem shamayim, like this kohen who was so makpid. You would just look at him and say, why this guy can't stop eating? It's amazing. Just more and more and more. No. Chazal tell us he was a tzaddik. He was eating because he wanted to do it l'shem shamayim. He wanted to do it, shouldn't be any noiser. So everything that we do can be like that. The whole question is only in your mind. What's going on in your mind? Your mind and in your heart. That's the place where we're connected more to HaKadosh Baruch Hu than anywhere else. In our hearts and in our mind. So Hashem says, give me your heart. You're going to have a lot of things to do in life. There are a lot of things that you have to do. The only question is, why am I doing it? Am I doing it because Hashem wants me to do it? Or am I doing it because I want to do it? There's a lot of geschmack things in the world. A lot of geschmack things. A lot of hana. And many of them could even be mitzvos. Yeah, you sit in the sukkah. Oh, it's geschmack to sit in the sukkah. And you're eating in the sukkah. It's a mitzvah to eat in the sukkah. So, if we just change our mindset, we can get tons and tons of mitzvahs. By my own chasana, I got up to speak at the chasen tish. I said a word from Rav Victor Miller. I said a word like this: come to a chasana. Let me ask you, is it fun to come to a chasana? It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to come to a chasana. Everybody has a good time coming to a chasana. There's good food. There's drinking. There's dancing. Yeah, everybody has a good time go to a chasana. Now, when you start dancing, are you happy? For sure. Are you having a good time? Awesome. It's amazing. Now, if you would stop for a second, right before, the music gets starting, back in my day, it started off like a pump-up music, right? Everybody to get going, and you get exciting. You like, right? Right? You got the starter going, right? Right? Now, if you can feel the energy, the bass is pumping, right? Right? Exactly. So now, if you stop for a second, stop the music. Ready? Get on the microphone and say, everybody, have kavanah to be mekayim the mitzvah of the sameach chosam mekala. Okay, everybody? Start the music again. You think the guys would have a worse time? You think they wouldn't dance as gishmak? You don't think they would have as good of a time? Turn the entire gishmak into a mitzvah. Few seconds of thought beforehand. What am I doing this for? Just to have a good time? Take the whole thing and say, I'm giving it to you, Hashem. The whole thing, I'm giving to you, Hashem. How long did it take? A few seconds? That's it. A few seconds. You did not have a worse time because of it? Oh, now we're not having a good time because it's for Hashem. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the steak is going to taste worse on Shabbos because you're doing it for Hashem. But that's what we have to train ourselves. We have to train our minds. We have to train our whole self. What am I doing? I'm doing it for Hashem. The Yetzer Hara wants us not. The Yetzer Hara wants to do it for ourselves. We should do it for ourselves, not for Hashem. That's what it means, shlemus halev. Hashem wants us to be doing things for Him. Like I said, there are madregas, some things like this. It's a simple thing. What's the big deal? Before you start dancing, stop, think for a second. I'm having kavanah to be mekayim mitzvah simchas chasan. Why not do that? What are you losing from it? But we just have to train ourselves that we should be sensitive to doing Ratzon Hashem. I want to do Ratzon Hashem. So if I want to do Ratzon Hashem, then I can do that with everything. Everything I'm doing is Ratzon Hashem. Everything that a person does could be Ratzon Hashem. Why am I going to sleep? So I can have energy for tomorrow, and I can get up for Shachar and have energy. Why am I eating? I'm eating so that I can have strength, so I can do more about Hashem. Why am I doing anything? It's just a question of training ourselves to doing it, and a person has to care enough to do that. If you care enough to do that, you'll be able to do it. So that's what he says over here. The purpose is just to serve Hashem. What am I doing is to serve Hashem. Not for any other reason. Sometimes this happens that I have two reasons why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for Simchas Chotan Akala, and I know there's some shadchanim over here looking to see who are the guys over here, who are the single guys, and they want to know, So I gotta make sure I wear my sharpest suit and the most kishmak and everybody sees me so that, they're gonna be calling my mother after. So that's a peniyah teres. That means I have two reasons why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it only for Hashem. I'm doing it for other reasons too. There's not two reasons, not two different reasons why am I doing this. Okay, or sometimes we do mitzvahs just because we are used to it. Now this is I'm going to say a chiddush over here. Is it better to not do mitzvahs at all, or to do mitzvahs by rote? To do mitzvahs anoshim milumoda, meaning you're just doing it because that's what I do. I didn't ever thought about it. Is it better to do mitzvahs like that or not to do mitzvahs at all? So I'll tell you, it's better to do mitzvahs like that than not to do mitzvahs at all. Because at least you're doing the mitzvah. At least you're doing it. Huh? Right? You start off with madregas. To strengthen your own mind to do the right thing, you need to be a little bit older. You need to be a little bit more mature in order to start to look at life and see life in a way that, you know what, there are bigger things than this. There are higher things than this. I don't have to be just looking for selfish reasons or for my physical pleasures. There are things that are bigger than that. I'm bigger than that. But a person has to first get used to doing the mitzvahs. If a person doesn't do the mitzvahs and has to get used to doing the mitzvahs altogether, that's already a much harder thing. Do the mitzvahs and have the right kavanah. To a certain degree, Balei Tshuva have a little advantage to this because their inspiration comes at the same time that they're doing the Ma'aseh mitzvah. But it's hard. Balei Tshuva do have this inspiration, but even for them, the inspiration runs out at a certain point. And then there's a down. They're not feeling 100% like what happened to that excitement that I had at the beginning. And then they have to learn how to build in their own excitement and really make it l'shem shamayim. If your person is trained already to do the mitzvahs the right way, it's much easier than to do a little switch in their head and say, I'm doing it l'shem shamayim. Which is why it's important, even when you're young and you're not necessarily the most motivated to do everything, it's still kedai. Get up in the morning for Shachris. Say every word of davening. Say every word of benching. Go to Seder. Learn. I'm not super excited about it. When your brain develops and you start to see the depth of certain things and understand there's a much more meaning behind it, it'll mean a lot more to you. So it's kedai, even though it's not really a very high level just to do mitzvahs just because that's what we do. I never thought about it. Why do I do this? I just do it because I do it. I do it because my father did it. I do it because it's my bar mitzvah. I put on tefillin, right? So I don't even think about it anymore. It's not special to me anymore. I had a shiputz not so long ago. Actually, it was a long time ago already now. But it wasn't a shiputz on my house. It was a shiputz on my tefillin. My tefillin needed exactly. I think it was 6 years ago by my first son's bar mitzvah. No, but I'll tell you, I did it. When I went to get tefillin I think it was for my oldest son. So I brought in my tefillin also, maybe to check the tefillin or whatever. And the one who I go to is a big Yerei Shemayim, and he's like, and I thought also maybe my tefillin needs to be worked up. Maybe they need to be fixed a little bit. So I gave it in, and when I got these tefillin back, I'm like, wow, they're beautiful. They were like totally shaped properly, beautiful. I mamish felt like a new bar mitzvah boy when I put on the tefillin again. I was so excited. Wow, look at the difference. It's amazing. So sharp, shiny black. Mamish like brand, like these are my tefillin. The same tefillin. These are my tefillin. Excited. Wow. A new bar mitzvah boy, how long does it take till he gets used to wearing tefillin? He doesn't think about it so much anymore. The first time he puts it on, the first month, when he's a bar mitzvah, there's excitement to it. And then after a little while, you just get used to it. You get used to it. Right? I got a new talis not so long ago. And I was visiting in America. And I was by my yeshiva. And after Shabbos, I went to say hello to the Rosh Yeshiva. And Rosh Hashiva said to me, he said, I couldn't see you exactly. I thought it was you, but there was a new talis. So I thought it must be some new young chassan. Right? I guess he didn't see the white in my beard. Right? I thought it was a new talis. Is mamish hischachus. So we always need hischachus. And built into the Torah is hischachus. We have a chodesh hazeh, Rosh Chodesh today. A new hischachus, starting a new month. It helps. It helps to bring more life. All these tricks that we can use them. And really, that's what we'll come to. Our whole heart ultimately should be only for Hashem. There are levels. Everybody can know their own level. But this is an ultimate goal. Hashem wants your heart. Hashem wants everything. Once He has your heart, then everything follows with the heart. The heart sends life to the rest of the group. So if He has your heart, the rest of the group will follow along. Okay, shkoyach.
Thank you for joining Real Judaism, where we explore Torah's wisdom for real life. Created by J Foundations and produced by Eli Podcast Productions. Find more episodes at realjudaism.org and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.